yourself, because every label may be a limit or a boundary you will not let yourself cross. Examine the labels you apply to yourself, because every label may be a limit or a boundary you will not let yourself cross. What do I mean by that? We all wear labels, whether we choose to believe it or not, and I'll prove it. We label ourselves based on what we do, not who we are. For example, we go to a social event. We meet new people. We find out what their name is. What's the first question we ask each other? What do you do for a living? And we label ourselves and those around us by what we do, not who we are. For example, we go to a social event, we meet two new people. We meet Hans, who happens to be a local brain surgeon, one of the top 10 in the nation. We meet John. Well, John happens to work in sanitation. He and his associates take up our trash every week. Who do we spend more time with? John, trash collector, or Hans, the brain surgeon? Be honest. Well, I have a John in my life. We call him the Terror. Why? He's an awesome soccer player. Don't let him see the goal. He'll take the goalkeeper and the net right through the goal. That's it. I mean, his name is Joe Louis. They call him the Terror. I met him at soccer as a referee years ago. But one day I was home in my little apartment in my flat, Mount Vernon, New York, and the truck came by, to take trash away. And there was the Terror in his bright orange vest. I said, hey, what's up, man? Hey, Mr. Brown, no problem, man. Mr. Referee, yes, sir. He took my trash away. But that was not who he was what he did. I'll tell you who Joe was. I travel about 100 days a year in North America. I'm gone winter, summer, autumn, and spring. We don't say fall here. I don't know. I knew autumn, And I was away one winter day, and my wife called, said, honey, how's it going there? I said, well, we had snow last night. It's pretty bad. And we park on the street. And she said, snow came. I've got to dig the car out with a shovel and clean the car off and get the kids to school, but I'll be okay. But I got to tell you, this morning, something unusual happened. So what happened? Well, I was out there beginning to clean the car off, and this guy pulled up, and he pulled his car off to the side. He got out and he said, hey, you're Mrs. Brown, you're Mark's wife, right? She said, yes. I said, hang on a second, let me help you out. He took a half an hour out of his time, and he dug the car out, cleaned it off, and bid my wife farewell. That was the Terror. Not what he did, but who he is. Sadly, we label ourselves by what we do. I'll prove that to you. One day I was tooling down the highway in the USA. I'm sorry, on the highway in the USA. And I got to a bend in the road, and I saw a sign saying, caution, men working ahead. No problem. And off to the side, a car was parked, and the tag on the back, what we call in states, vanity plates. You know what those are? Yeah. You were allowed to pay extra money to get whatever you want on the plate. Isn't that cool? This person had his own plate. The tag said one word. It said Flagger, F-L-A-G-G-E-R, Flagger. And of course, I turned the bend, and there in the road stood a man with a long pole saying, on one side said slow, on the other said stop. Had a big bright orange flag in his hand. Now, I used to be a computer programmer, which means I think logically. And my mind said, that car belongs to that guy. Huh? As he waved me through with his bright orange flag, a thought came to my mind. I began to think to myself, wait a second. This gentleman paid extra money, US dollars, for a specialized tag. He had the opportunity to tell the world who he is, what he believes, what he represents, his philosophy of life, and all he could come up with was Flagger. A chance to tell the world who he is. And he chose as his statement of who I am, Flagger. He labeled himself by what he did for 8 hours a day, waving an orange flag. I will confess